The key that has a lot of the solfeggio is the key of A flat, because it's G sharp, which is for undoing and facilitating change. It has E flat in it, which has to do with connections. It has C in it, which has to do with healing, DNA. There's G, which has to do with letting go of fear and guilt. As I say, F sharp is the only key that doesn't fit in here. Here's F sharp. E flat, C, A flat, G, A flat, B flat, unity, all you have to do is have your pianos tuned a tiny bit differently, and you'll be right there, you know. But if you know, and you know what these tones are about, then a recorder or anything like that that you may have at home that you can actually reproduce the tone will do that, give you your meditation. Or go to your computer and just find solfeggio and just spend some time with it like that every day, or someday, or one day, just to know that it's there. So this hymn to St. John the Baptist is Ut. Second one is Re. Third note is Mi. Fourth note is Fa. Fifth note is Sol. And then La. And then Sancte. So is for John. John is T. Translation is so may, with loosened voices, resound the wonders of your deeds. Clean the guilt from our stained lips. These notes and phrases has to do with the sheet there. So you've got it. So that's a bit of solfeggio, something that we don't know. And there is a movement now to raise everything. Like you see, is now like 3.8 hertz below where it could be. If it were raised, think of orchestras and the sound. Actually, the Beatles, they said England was one of the. A lot of the original Beatles music was played in the original solfeggio toning. So that's why, you know, love, and, you know, all you need is love is right there, you know. So okay. Now I want to go to Maya a little bit. Mayan cosmology. What's going to happen in 2012? You know, really, nobody knows. There's all kinds of predictions out there. And my friend Charles was just talking about how NASA has put out all kinds of information about solar flares and the possibility of a polar shift. This happened. Maybe we're like, you know, 20,000 years late for one because they happen. How do they know all this, you know? They study the floor of the oceans, and they can see lines, and they can do timing from this and discover when things change. It's just, you know, there's 2 new planets that they just discovered out there somewhere, the size of Earth, and they're hot though, like 800 degrees and 1400 degrees, so we know there's no water, but you know what it is, like Kepler 2 is out there somewhat like the Earth, and it is probably possible, and there are the same minerals that they have. How do we know the minerals that are on these planets out in other galaxies and places? How do we know? But there may be life there, so maybe they're coming here, or maybe they're already here, or maybe we're from there. Good chance. So as we look at all the possibilities of what the amazing technology is giving us today, and going to Mars, and they're actually going to probe Mars and discover a lot of things that are there. This thing went up, and we're going to watch, watch it on camera. We're going to see all these places on that one edifice there that looks like a face, on Mars. We're going to get a chance to look at that and see if it really was something that was created or if it was just an anomaly, just happened. So we're to a place, the neighborhood ain't that small anymore, Really growing. So now, the Maya calendar comes along and reminds us that there is a big, big picture that the Mayans knew about, calculated about, understood about, 2,000 years ago. So we're wondering where that information came from and where did the Mayans go, A lot of people have disappeared from this planet. So maybe they'll bring some of them back. Maybe Quetzalcoatl will actually come back in his feathered serpent costume, and he'll be somebody we could all sit around on the floor and talk to. It'd be great. But what's happened is that they've done a system of time. I got it, Susan, thanks. Here's a system of time. It's a long time. And remember, time is not linear. For the cosmos, time is really spiral. So imagine we're not really looking at a line right now, but we're looking at, time spiraling. So it's going like round, 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 round. And each of these spirals of time is 5,250 years long. And each of them represents a movement or a change. Now, if we take those systems, and there are 5 of them, it's 26,000 years. I almost put a $sign there. I better not do that. That's not a bad number, actually. 26,000 years, and divided into these 5 epochs. And this is a period that we know that our galaxy and our traveling in our solar system through the galaxy, we align with the galactic core. Now understand that the galaxy looks like this. Remember, it's got a big bulge in the middle. And if you look at it from the top, let's see, here's the center. There are these arms that go out. And we're in the Orion belt. Let's just say we're like here. Our solar system is here in the Orion belt. All the stars we see at night, whether the Pleiades and Orion's belt and the North Star, all that kind of thing, we see are just all right in here. When we look out and see the galaxy, is that beautiful white kind of a shaded space that we look out into our sky. That's all of the galaxy, though we're just over here. If you look at it like this, it's all ordered, and there is a galactic horizon. So the central core is here, and there is what they call the dark rift, which is a black hole. And all galaxies are centered on black holes, and that's where the creation of new star systems come and go, because it not only sucks things in, but it takes things and transforms it and blows it out again. And it's always going on, always going on. So here, in the galaxy, let's say that we're out here. Because of the fact that we have a wobble, and our universe is going all around we're going around that, like so. We actually, in 26,000 years, align with the galactic equator. It creates what's called a grand cross. Now, this is all what you call astronomical. Thank you, astronomical. So this is all astronomy. This is what happens to our planet. This is going on. So every 26,000 years, we are aligned like that. When we are in like the photon belt of the galaxy, which we are getting extra energy from. We're getting direct hit from the center of the galaxy. Whatever that means, we don't even know. The event horizon is a place that when our planet or our solar system gets to a particular place, we get sucked into the galaxy center and then get spit out with something else. We don't know much about that, but that's what happens. That's what the creation is about. That's what the creation of our galaxies are about. So the event horizon is that time when all of a sudden, the drain's going around and you drop something in it. Ooh, something got caught in it. Finally, it goes down the drain. That's what an event horizon is. People are calling this the event horizon 2012. I don't think it's really the event horizon. It is an event horizon, but I don't think we're getting sucked into anything. Or maybe we are. Sounds like crazy stuff. So anyway, of this system, we are like in this particular segment of it right here. And each of these segments is divided into 13 parts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Each of them is called a Baktun. And a Baktun is 144,000 days, or 5,250 years. So we're in the 13th Baktun here. Now, at the end of this Baktun, this period, this era, let's call it, began on August 11, 3114 BCE, before Common Era. So we are now on this side of it, and that's December 21, 2012. So in Tortuguero, there's a stela that tells us that this is what this beginning date was. And they do dating by coordinates. They look at other things that are happening, and they are able to find out what dates are. Matter of fact, this day may be 2 days off. It also might be the 13th. There's a debate about that, which means 2012 might be 2012. It might be the 23rd. So if we get by the 21st and nothing happens, and 2 days later, a big comet hits, we'll say, oh, wow, whatever. They knew more than we thought they did. We don't know what's going to happen. But anyway, that's what's happening. That's why the date, December 21, 2012, has been noted. Because it starts back, 5,125 years from when this particular period of time began. This is the 13th Baktun. Today, I wrote on your program, which I don't have one. Maybe I could. Thanks, Diane. Today is Wednesday. G sharp is the tone for the day. It's kin number 61, which is 9 Imish. I'll talk about that in a little bit. In the long count, it's 12 Baktun, 19 Katun, 18 Tun, 18 Wenal, and today is, I think, 1 kin. What happens is like an odometer of a car in measuring. Now, what we're going to try to do, eventually is get to 13 here. Because the end of the 13th Baktun is when this all occurs. So, when you get to 19 kin, it goes to 0. And this becomes 19. All the way over. So that when these become 20, this becomes 20, this becomes 20, the thing falls down. And you end up with 13.0.0.0.0 on this day, the end of the 13th Baktun. So December 2020 is the last day of the cycle. December 21st is day 0. Maya used 0 always to begin a new thing. This is how you make a 0. It looks like a snail. Very slow moving thing. No more deliberate movement than a snail. Come back a half an hour later and he's somewhere else, but you couldn't watch him hardly move. So it's a zero. It's the ending of something, and it's the beginning of something else. It's many times, well, Quetzalcoatl is depicted in one of the art pieces, there are many, many studies of them done, where he's doing this, but his fingers are not touching his thumb. It's just like, that's where we are in 2012 right now. We're at that moment. It begins a whole new cycle. The Mayans' disclaimer about all of this is that they never said it's the end of the world. It's going to be another day. They believe that all the hype and everything is just something that, the Western world has picked up to have something to talk about, have something to make people afraid about. But they just say it's the ending of a cycle and the beginning of a new one. What do you do with a new cycle of 26,000 years or 5,250 years? What do you do? Can you change? Can we do it differently? How have the last 5,250 years, what's it been like to have, the whole concept of patriarchy on our planet? The male energy of projection and separation and division and power over. What's it been like? You like that? Is that what we are right now? It's where we are. So the new feminine time comes in, another energy comes in, an inclusiveness, a unity, a unification, a nurturing, mothering. This is what the feminine energy is about, and this is what's happening. I think if you notice, most of the New Age, well, for a long time, a lot of it was women learning about all the New Age crystals, about all this stuff, and now many of us men are following it. But really, it was an intuitive thing. Somehow they knew. Somehow you knew. Something new was coming, some change is happening. And so we began learning about it. And the New Age was poo-pooed for a long, long time. And now you read about stuff all the time. Some little kid was born on 11111. A baby was born in Abington Hospital. And she weighed, 7 pounds and 4 ounces. And the article said, and that's another 11, And so it was 11, 11, 11, 11. She was born on the 11th month, 11th day, 11th hour. She weighed, 11 pounds an ounce. So it's like, and this is like out there, and people say, what's numerology? Well, this means like, unity, a new beginning. And everybody read that. And maybe they went poo-poo again, but a lot fewer people, more people are lending an ear to this new information, this new possibility that we're looking at. So, this is what it's about. This is why dating is what it is. This is what happens. Next day, check out this. 0 Baktun, 1, 0 Katun, 0 Tun, 0 Wino. And here in Kin, you have a 1. It's a new day 1. When was the last time we had one? After Christ, And they didn't even decide that for 300 years, and we measured back. So nobody really knew it was a new day 1 because nobody knew what was going on that day, But now, we can watch a calendar and realize that, wow, here's an opportunity for humanity. Who is another name for God. It's got to do with Judaism and Yahweh. It's got to do with, everybody follow Ekankar? Hu is the sound there. The name for God in Maya is Hu Nabku. The Hu Nabku is the giver or the source of all motion. It's like, can't really have a name, but they call it Hu Nabku. So who, and ask the question, who did that? Yeah. Who's going to go? Yeah, you're right. So just whenever you think of who, just answer the question. That's what it is. Who is you? Who are you? Yeah, Who is you? So anyway, that's what this whole system is about, and it's really, really powerful, I think. I've been connected to it since the 90s, early 90s, and have been keeping track and doing the countdown of the Mayan cosmology just for a very, very long time, and now we're down to like 350 days. So it's like getting right down there. It's a really good time. Let me see. Got half an hour yet. I have booklets for everyone who wants one. At the end, you can take it. It's all about 2012, an experiment that we're doing. Let me just go through the pages of it so you understand what you would be looking at. It's free. You have it if you want it. This is what 2012 experiment is about. Next is about the auspicious things I was talking about. Lots of auspicious things happening in 2012. The next page is more auspicious things that are happening. It's really, there are a lot of eclipses, moon, lunar. This thing is happening on May 20th. The Venus transit. There's just a lot of stuff happening next year. And then this is about the Golden Lotus calendar, which is a new development that a friend of mine in Sayulita and I are working on. It's every month is a petal, and it's 52 days, and each of them is 15 waves, and you follow a 52-day petal around another 52-day petal, and 7 of them is 364 days. And then solstice is the 365th day. So it's just a way of like unifying our consciousness. You can have one of those too at the end of the day. This time, that calendar. This tells you about how to find your place in the Mayan calendar, how to find which is your particular Mayan signature, the day you were born. It's like an ephemeris that Western astrology uses when they get your date, your hour, and the time, and they do all the triangles and the circle, and whatever is your moon rising and stuff. It's like that, much simpler than that, because it indicates the day you were born on this huge ephemeris, what the energy was about on that day. Like I said, today is 9, patience, Imish, birth. So we're giving birth to something right now, and we have to be patient with it. You cannot push the river, as we know. So after you've figured that out with the calculations of the ephemeris, this describes the 20 different archetypes in. Let me read the names of them to you, just so you get what they're about. Imish is birth. Ik is breath or communication or spirit. Akbal is house, hearth, or night. Khan is seed or lizard, interestingly enough. Chikkan is serpent. Kimi is transformation or death. Remember, each of you is one of these 20. The next one is Manik, and it means deer. It also means portal. A deer is a portal. If you're a hunter and you're after that deer, and if you move in deeper, and then you're going in. Then you're going in deeper after him. He's like a portal. He leads you into the woods. And sometimes he can delude you. You go off and whatever happened to him, So the deer is like an entrance or a portal. Manik. Next one is Lamat, and it's star or Venus or rabbit. Muluk is water and moon offering ceremony. These are days for ceremony. Ok is dog, has to do with love and loyalty. Chin is monkey, has to do with playing, magic, having fun. Susan, you're probably one of those. Eb is grass or herb, and also road. Ben is reed, like bending reed is very flexible. These people are people that can try this and try that, and it's also emptiness, like the flute, the reed flute is empty. Only can it make sound that way. Next is jaguar, Ish, I-X, to pronounce it. Then is, and that's got to do with the priesthood, a divine will. They are night seers. The next one is Men, men, and it means eagle, and it has to do with vision. The next is Kib, which is owl or wisdom. Then Kaban, which has to do with change and movement and earthquakes and things. Etznab, number 18, is the psyche. It's like the knife that cuts through. It's the mirror that we look at to see what's really real. 19 is Kawak, which is crystal and storm and the catalyst. And then the last one is Ahau, which means sun. Along with that are 13 tones, 13 chromatic tones, 1 through 13. So you might be a 5 Imish, or a 9 Imish, which is today, or a 6 serpent, whatever. So there's 260 possibilities. These numbers occur over and over again in the Mayan cosmology. There's so many significant numbers that just keep repeating in many different forms. And then I have a section called Music is Key, and it talks all about the solfeggio disclosure. And then the last part is numerology. That's where we're going to go next. Sorry? You want to take a break?
Before midnight?
Well, how late do you go? Oh, okay. I'm in for a break, then that's good. Well, yeah. So that would be good. Maybe during that break you can pick up these books and take a look at them. The last thing in the book is the International Banner of Peace. You probably have seen it. It's like a large red circle with 3 circles. The outer circle stands for world culture. The inside circle is science, art, and spirituality. And this flag, this banner of peace, the Rorschach Banner of Peace, the League of Nations approved it as sort of like the Red Cross. The Red Cross, you put it on the building, you're not supposed to bomb there because the people are already been bombed, right? So these are places to hold respect for museums, places of art, and places of science, so that when there are wars, if you fly that flag here, they wouldn't bomb this church. I mean, that would be what it's about. So it's called the World Banner of Peace. And something that you probably will start noticing if you haven't noticed already, because sometimes you don't see things and then someone introduces you to them, and all of a sudden that white Chevrolet pops up everywhere, because that's what you're looking for, a white Chevrolet. So, yeah, so is this a good time to take a break and then we'll come back and do numerology? Okay, good. And these books are here if you'd like to come and get one or whatever.
So let's put the Banner of Peace everywhere.
It should be everywhere. I have guys with shirts with them on and all sorts of things.